All right, well, this is just your weekly reminder. We post every Wednesday at 5 p.m. on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube for the full visuals. Follow us on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook at Nothing But Controversy, Twitter at NB Controversy. And of course, go to nothingbutcontroversy.com/shop to buy your boys' merch. I mean, just look, we got 3 hats on already. The hats are coming in soon. We're very excited about that. If you want a hat, give us a little DM. We'll be sure to get you one of those trucker hats, NBC trucker hats. Unbelievable. But anyways, let's go to episode 39 intro right now.
This is Nothing But Controversy. 4 guys on a podcast and we're talking about sports. 4 guys on a podcast and we're talking about sports. Nothing But Controversy with Matt, Dawson, Cam, and Shaner.
Well, what's up, guys? And welcome to episode 39 of the Nothing But Controversy podcast. And today is a very special day because it is our NFL Week 1 special. Oh my goodness, I cannot believe that we're...
All right, Matt, stop talking. Shane, take off your hat. Oh man. For all those at home, Shane cut the lettuce. Tune into YouTube now. He looks handsome as ever. Let's not get that twisted. He looks handsome as ever.
Oh, yeah.
But Shane, we missed the lettuce. Okay, Matt, carry on.
Okay. First of all, Team Matt Nation. I'm back, baby. It's been a week. I was on a sabbatical.
The only fan you had was your mom.
Yeah, and she was missing me. It happens.
It
But
does.
yeah, I'm back. I'm better than ever. I'm on the wagon along with LBS. Cheers. We've had a couple today. Just a couple.
Yeah, so just so you guys know, before filming this episode, I got text from multiple sources saying that Liam is absolutely buzzing.
Oh,
Right.
big time buzzing.
So I'm expecting some solid one-liners out of you today.
I can confirm those texts, those rumors. Let me tell you.
Hey, listen, I said I've had a couple beers today, and speaking of a couple, we are officially 2 days away from the start of the NFL regular season. 2 days!
Bang!
Let's fucking
Wow.
go.
Oh my goodness, it's been a long time coming. We started this countdown at 199.
I feel like I haven't even known you guys 199 days.
Yeah.
Is that an insult?
Oh,
Oh, time flies when you're having fun.
exactly.
But hey, let's go into the schedule here. We're going to start off, of course, with this week in
I
sports.
owned it, LBS.
Okay, just interrupt me. Again, Shane.
Well,
Interrupt me again, Shane.
I
Fuck.
will.
This week in sports. Then we got our question of the week. Then we got our bold prediction of the week. And then we got our game of the week. Our game of the week.
Game of the week is
Saying
back.
it.
It's back.
Everyone's saying that. It's back.
I forgot that was a segment.
Oh, yeah, no. It's the
Didn't even
most.
know that was a segment.
That's how long it's been. We have our game of the week. Then we go into one of everyone's favorite segments, Think Fast, NBC Trivia, hosted by the non-lettuce king, Shaner. Then we have our top 5 and our lock of the week in terms of betting. Just an absolute banger of an episode. We're going to be talking about the NFL. We're going to be talking about fantasy football. Stay tuned, because it's going to be a great episode. So right now, let's head into This Week in Sports, baby. Fuck. All right, so I'm going to bring up two major things, I'd say. I mean, of course, this week in sports, it's week 1. Okay? I don't know if there's anything you guys want to bring up. I would say probably stay away from the game of the week. What I want to say is, obviously, I'm wearing my Saints shirt. I'm excited to see what Jameis can do in the starting role. He is the guy now. I'm very excited to see how Dak Prescott is going to come back. Dak Prescott, I mean, listen, I hate the Cowboys, but if there's something I like about the Cowboys, it's Dak Prescott, man. So I'm excited to see what he can do. He's a phenomenal player, how he comes back. I'm excited to see all the rookie QBs that are starting. I think there's what, 3? Is Trey Lance starting? No.
No.
Okay, so it's just Mac,
It's
Trevor,
Mac, Trev, and Zach.
and Zach. Okay, so
Good
especially
job.
Mac Jones, of course. I'm an Alabama football guy, so I'm excited to see him play. I was very excited when he got drafted by the Patriots. I thought that was the perfect spot for him, and him getting named QB, it's a big deal. So very excited to see what these young QBs can do. I think it's I don't think I've been this excited for a QB class in a while. We're probably gonna end up seeing Justin Fields and Trey Lance, like eventually, but. For now, it's these 3 guys. I don't know what you guys want to say about week 1, but that's the first thing I'm going to bring up.
I'm fucking pumped, baby. One of the nominations for the game of the week, bias aside, is the Colts Seahawks game. I think that's going to be a sick game. But I'm just ecstatic at who the Colts got back when they got back. Quentin Nelson dressing for game 1. Ryan Kelly's going to be off the COVID list. Wentz is going to be in for game 1. And the shock of them all has to be Eric Fisher at left tackle. Starting. He was. They were going to put him on the PUP and sit him 6 weeks, and then suddenly he's number 1 on the depth chart for week 1. So I'm absolutely pumped with that. I think that's going to be a really, really good game. I'm pumped for it. Go Colts, baby!
Big game in the Spooner household.
Big game in the sport.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Pops is a Seahawks fan. Not sure I could watch it with him, but might have to. But yeah, I'm pumped.
Yeah, similar to the guys, just super hyped about the game. The NFL coming back this week. I'm excited to watch the Pats, obviously, again, playing week 1 against the Dolphins. You know what? I was not a big Mac Jones fan. Still not. But hopefully, he wins me over this week. Propels the team to a first week dub. And, yeah, just excited to watch all the other games. Obviously, our fantasy football league is starting this week. That's going to be fun playing Cam. Sitting right next to me over there. And yeah, bro, I'm excited for football to start this week. That's all I got for this weekend sports.
Pumped for fantasy.
Oh yeah, fantasy is always a good time. Always a good time.
Liam, if you keep flicking that pen, I'm gonna fucking kill you.
I was
that
waiting
was
for
me?
that.
I know that was you because I've yelled at you about it before.
Oh, I was waiting
Fair
for
enough.
it.
Oh man.
Yeah, boys. I don't have much. I mean,
No.
I'm kind of screwed here this week. I think of the 5 of us. I mean, Shane aside, the Eagles are looking the worst. Not really any expectations. I hope Jalen Hurts wins over this new coaching staff. I really love the guy personally, but we'll see. If not, the Eagles might be sitting pretty with 3 first-round picks for next year's draft. So I'll be looking forward to that. But otherwise, not much to say. We haven't talked about college football yet, and I know it's NFL special this week, but 3 19-plus point underdogs won last week. Don't expect to see that the rest of the year.
Dawson's hurting.
Yeah, I don't want to go at Dawson too much here, but Montana smoked Washington. Maybe not smoked. Kind
No,
of
just by beating them, they
in
smoked.
context. Yeah, that's it. So anyways, and then Jimmy Lake came out and said, I'm not
I
shocked.
wasn't surprised. Are you fucking kidding me? You are the 20th ranked school in the country. Montana's, if we had to rank them, probably 200 plus. They're an FCF school. How are you not shocked? Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
You got hot seats? That seat is fucking lava. Bastard. Oh my god. But yeah, in the same article, they also said that Washington's players came off the bus acting like Hollywood stars, like, oh man, not happy. And they play Michigan this week, which is just fantastic. Anyways,
Good luck to the Huskies, but
Carry
that's all I got this week.
Boys, I'm excited. Saquon is back. Saquon's back. It's been too long since I've seen Saquon lace it up for my boys. I'm excited to see Kenny Golladay, a real number 1 receiver, one we haven't had since obviously Odell was traded. The weapons are around Danny Dimes. I'm excited to see if he can. Everybody knows that I'm a big Danny Dimes supporter, one of very few Giants fans who are. So I'm excited to see if he can actually pull through with some real targets going here.
Yeah.
How's Darius Tony looking? That's what I want to know. No, but like,
I'm going to turn my back on my boy. Listen,
is he gonna come in as like the 4 or 5 guy and get a few less reps than we expect?
he's coming in as the 4 or 5 guy, and he's got to earn his reps. I know Victor Cruz came out and said, Cam, your boy, Sterling Shepard's going to have a big year. So hopefully he stays healthy because I don't think he's played a full year yet. But Shep, when healthy, bold statement here, Shep, when healthy, is one of the best route runners in the NFL and one of the best top 5 slot guys in the NFL when healthy. So if he could stay healthy all year, that gives Danny Dimes, a security blanket, and then Kenny Golladay doing his thing. So I'm excited.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to argue with that. We just need to see more of them, I guess. But that's it for, I guess, the first thing I have to bring up. Second thing I'm going to bring up is Cam kind of alluded it like before, but college week 1 happened. A lot of shocks happened. It was interesting. Okay, it told us a lot about how the teams are. So this is what I wrote down. I said Alabama looked very good. I mean, it's Alabama. They look like Alabama. Georgia, wow.
Their defense looked incredible.
I told you.
Georgia is a scary team.
Don't say I didn't warn you. That's all I have to say. We all warned you.
Been playing?
No, he's
Playing?
hurt.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he's hurt.
Oh yeah, he's coming off a torn ACL.
Yeah.
Only thing I'll say-
He might not play until like November.
Yeah. It's not. I didn't read up into that too much before last week, clearly, because I mentioned him like maybe 15 times. But yeah, he's out for a while.
Yeah.
Like, yes, Georgia
White
impressed me
is a
quite a
bull.
bit. Sorry, go ahead.
Zamir White is a bully.
He is
He
absolutely.
was bodying guys on his runs.
So, like I said, Georgia, they impressed me quite a bit, but their offense needs to get going. I don't know if Clemson's defense is that good too. I mean, there was not an offensive touchdown in that game.
Clemson's
away the-
defense is that good. They're absolutely that
They
good.
are. Like, take away the pick six. It's a 3-3 football game. Like, that's kind of crazy for 2 top 5 ranked teams.
That's
That
Clemson
being said-
will win the ACC.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. 100%.
Easily.
That being said, though, Clemson's O line was awful. I mean, I'm not taking anything away from Georgia's D line, but like, I think he got sacked 7 times, 8 times?
7 times.
7 times is not good enough to beat in the top 5, man. I'll tell you that right now.
Horrible matchup. Horrible week 1 matchup for
Yeah.
a team who lost a lot of starters.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that's a nightmare situation if you ask me.
Yeah,
Also,
I am nowhere near close to canceling Clemson out of this year at all.
No.
Justin Ross didn't really look good to me either.
Yeah.
Obviously, coming off that injury, didn't play all last year, but he's still like I've seen a lot of like media guys turning away from Justin Ross after 1 week when he hasn't played in over a year. Like, you can't turn on a guy like that's that special at that position. So all those people, I feel like he's gonna make them regret what they're saying early about him.
And like pressure aside, though, DJ looked bad. Like taking the pressure out of it, DJ didn't look good.
The lights seem too big for him, to be honest.
Like neither offense scored a touchdown, but like I found JT, obviously he's been there way longer and has been in the played way more games, but I find he just looked better.
I found DJ kind of looked a little bit panicky to start the game.
Oh,
Honestly, though, JT Daniels does not have that much more experience. He has prior experience when he was at USC before he got hurt and all that, but he hasn't been with this Georgia offense a lot. So
right, no.
And now without Pickens, like they're gonna lean on the run game a lot. But he's a guy to watch like all throughout the year. You're gonna want to watch Georgia because that's gonna be like Tom Brady with the Bucs last year, and that offense they don't look so good at the beginning of the year. As the season progresses, I think they're gonna start putting up big time points.
Yeah, I agree. That was a good game, though. That was fun to watch.
Yeah.
As fun to watch as a 10-3 game could be.
Yeah.
They're in the Patriots Rams Super Bowl.
Oh my God! Don't even get me started on that shit.
Awful. I was in Paris for that. It was 3 a.m. Horrible.
Oh man. Anyways, another thing that happened this weekend: Oklahoma beat Tulane, and I don't know. I'm talking about the Heisman here because I don't know. Everyone said that Spencer Rattler was going to be the Heisman number 1, as he was. He was favored to be the number 1 Heisman candidate. I guess he's not anymore. Threw a couple picks, but
They're 3.
I guess he threw 3.
Mhm.
Wow, thought he only threw 2. Anyways, seems like he needs a couple games to get going every season. That seems to be the trend now.
Only played
Well,
1 season.
It's like we talked about last week, man. He has like the Brett Favre upside where like he'll just dot you up for 450 yards and 5 touchdowns, but he's gonna have his games where he throws picks. To me, like I still like him for the Heisman. I think he's still in the conversation just because of their schedule, but we'll see what happens. Not very impressive from Oklahoma this week.
I mean, not impressive from Heisman number 2, Sam Howell, too, right?
Oh, Sam Howell was awful.
Sam Howell looked bad. UNC looked horrible.
UNC
like Spencer Rattler had a bad game, but he's still there. Sam Howell just was awful.
Not to toot my own horn, but I said him losing those 2 backs, Javonte and Michael, and then him losing Daz Newsome, it's gonna have an effect on them. The play calling was bad. He couldn't get it going at all. So yeah, he's gone. He's I don't know. It's gonna be hard for him to revive his season.
And speaking of the Heisman, I know you guys are gonna hate me, but I think number 1 guy's got to be Bryce Young right now. It has to be. Like Bryce Young, he looked flawless. He literally looked flawless in that game. He set the record for most touchdowns as an Alabama quarterback in his first start and passing yards. Like that says something. He beat the record set by Mac Jones and by Joe Namath. Like, hey man, I'm happy, man. I wasn't sure because I mean I saw Bryce Young play last year. He was good. He was throwing a lot better receivers than he's throwing to this year. But like, I mean, hey, I'm excited, man. I know you guys are gonna hate me for saying it, but
no, not at all. He looked amazing. Like
also Bryce Young, I feel like he's a guy you just can't hate, man.
I don't think Bryce Young has a big lead on it at the moment, though.
Fair enough. I think
Desmond Ritter.
It's week 1. No one has a lead.
No. I'm saying, like, let's just say for whatever reason, like everybody wants to argue Bryce Young. Desmond Ritter was going pass for pass.
Fuck yeah, baby.
Like, Desmond Ritter looked fantastic.
Yep.
Especially in the first half, I think he had like 245 yards and like 3 touchdowns. You know, he came out, I think the first drive of the second half, he threw a pick. But still, you know, like
Bama was playing Miami, though.
But still, that counts for his numbers. Like, I know it's Miami.
Absolutely.
But Miami, like I said, guys, Miami had 3 guys suspended, like literally an hour before the game. Yeah. 3 starters on defense, or at least 2 starters on defense. So like, that makes a difference. I'm not saying Bryce Young didn't look good. He looked great. But Miami, Miami's going to be outside the top 25 after this week. Or are they? Are they still in the top 25?
They're still there, I think.
Because they lost to number 1. But I'm telling you, I would not be surprised if they were outside the top 25 after.
Mine, they're there. I don't know about the actual AP.
Yeah, I don't believe in Miami at all.
Oh, yeah. Everyone go look at Shaner's new blog. He's going to be posting weekly updates of the College 25. We don't need to hear the CFP rankings. We need to hear the Shaner rankings.
Fuck yeah.
Those are the only ones that matters.
thecontroversy.com/blog.
Look, I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret. We're currently in contract negotiations with the NCAA to make Shaner's top 25 the only top 25 list that's allowed to be posted on the internet. So stay tuned for that.
Hey, listen, I'm the one that writes the articles, but these boys are behind me. So don't let them talk you into thinking that they don't have anything to do with these articles. It's a group effort.
Okay, speaking of quarterbacks,
with a sexy face on it.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Speaking of quarterbacks, though, cool story out of Florida State.
Yeah,
Mackenzie Milton.
Yeah,
that was I didn't know much about him before this weekend, to be honest.
Really?
No, I didn't know the story.
Oh, he was part of those UCF teams that were putting up 50+ weekly, running through the AAC nonstop.
That was a disgusting injury.
Yeah,
one of the worst ones I've ever seen. One of the worst injuries I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
But yeah, coming back from what doctors said would be a career-ending injury, without a doubt, said you could come back. I've never seen anyone do it, and I wouldn't advise you to do it. Came back and looked good.
Went 4 for 4 on his first drive with a touchdown pass.
Yeah.
For the record, Miami dropped to 22.
Okay. Where did Washington drop?
Washington took a little bit of a tumble, boys.
Oh yeah, to 80.
Probably.
80 might be too generous.
Honestly, Montana might be ranked higher than they are right now.
I'm done. You guys go on here.
Boys, also, speaking about quarterbacks, Dan Mullen said there's not a controversy, but there absolutely needs to be a controversy in Florida. Because Emory Jones did not look that good.
You hate Emory Jones, don't you?
He's not Kyle Trask. Kyle Trask is my boy. But Emory Jones, I like Emory Jones. I was talking about him last week. I like Emory Jones. But AR-15 came in, and he lit that shit up.
Oh, did he? He came in the game?
Oh, my God.
You didn't see that one, highlight?
No. Bro, he juked 3 guys, whatever, hurdled a guy. It was disgusting.
He's a big dude, too. I'm not saying this because Emory Jones had a bad game. I'm saying that because AR-15 looked amazing. Like he came in the fourth quarter and he was fantastic.
Yeah.
Like running the ball. I think he had like their last touchdown was like a 75-yard run from him. Like he burnt guys down the sideline. Like, I think they're gonna keep running that 2 quarterback system, which I hate when college coaches do that. Because I don't get it. If you don't have one quarterback that you could trust, to me, you don't really have a quarterback. But we'll see what Dan Mullen. Hopefully, they get it solved by week 3, because week 3 is Alabama, and if you're running 2 quarterbacks against Alabama, you're not gonna. You have no chance in that game.
You're in for a tough time.
Yeah,
Janer, we're watching that game together, baby.
I will not be in attendance for that.
All right, boys. Randy Edsall's out in UConn.
Oh
I
my!
was just gonna bring that up.
Randy is out in UConn.
Yeah.
Man.
Kind of came out of nowhere because he said he was retiring and then he was gonna finish the year out, and then a couple days later, steps down.
Yeah.
That's what the real story is behind
It's like
that.
step down right fucking now.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, maybe I don't know if it's a good thing for the program or not. I guess we'll find out. See how they do this year. Maybe they can scrap a couple wins away, because the way it's looking right now, no wins is a possibility. It's in the cards. So
Yeah, speaking of losing to FCS teams, UConn
Yeah.
fucking Holy Cross.
exactly.
Hey, but shout out to Holy Cross's head coach.
Yeah.
Like, they put up like his track record. He started in like D3,
Yeah.
and he's won everywhere he's gone.
Yeah.
Like it's
He's a
insane.
gamer. He's a gamer.
And he's pretty young too. I think they said he was like 40.
Yeah.
Damn. But yeah, no, shout out to Holy Cross. UConn, again, didn't look great. Jack had a nice touchdown. Beautiful touchdown. throw.
Oh,
Unbelievable throw.
one of the best throws of the weekend, I think.
Had to be. Had
Oh
to be.
yeah.
It's really just the inconsistency for UConn. Like a couple drives, they'll look like a legit CFB team. They belong. They were dominating Holy Cross a couple drives, and then boom, just flips a switch, and Holy Cross, it looks like the powerhouse. It doesn't make sense. But if they could clean that stuff up, I think they could have a decent season. But yeah, they just have to find that consistency, to be honest.
Anyone have anything else?
I'm good to go, baby.
I mean, not football related, but obviously we have other sports to get to.
Ugh.
KK out, Dvorak in, boys.
Oh, fuck, yeah.
To me, Dvorak's a better player at this point in their careers. Not to say that KK doesn't have the potential to be a far better player, but right now I think the Habs upgraded. Got a first and third for KK, and then flipped a first and second. So basically, you traded Kotkaniemi in a second, for Dvorak.
And a third.
And a third. So to me, that's an upgrade. But and it was a 2024 second round pick. So hopefully by then Suzuki and Caulfield are in full swing in Montreal, and the Habs are still Stanley Cup contenders. But to me, they won that. They won that Saturday.
I agree.
Yeah, I love KK, but to me, makes no. First of all, the Habs couldn't do it, but second of all, I don't care how good he's gonna be with, and I do love him. I do think he has like tremendous upside, but I don't think he's. Well, it's not even. I don't think he's not worth 6.1 this year right now.
Oh wait, no
So-
way.
And the Habs were strapped, so they're absolutely a great move. You get a proven second line center who's gonna produce. He's good in both ends. Obviously, great, way better than KK on the draws.
He's gonna replace Danault. Is exactly what Christian Dvorak's gonna do. And then Paling gets a chance. Evans gets a chance.
Yeah.
Matthew Perreault, Cedric Paquette come in. They get a chance too. Obviously, these guys are not KK level, offensively, but
No one's gonna replace Dano.
they're
No.
more. I feel like but if
Well,
KK would have had a harder chance backing up Danault than Dvorak does.
yeah, I think he does replace Dano and provides a team with a little more offensive upside. He's a great guy on the power play. I know that. Big body, gets in front of the net. I think he had like 8 power play goals, and like I saw a stat. He was solid on the power play this year. So that's huge for us. I'm excited to see what he can do. I think we had to let go of KK, and it's a great replacement in my
Also,
eyes.
Carolina came out and said they're going to use KK on the wing. So obviously that right there, that means that they don't trust him being a center in the NHL. He's going into year 4. Obviously, he's still 21. But if he's going to year 4, he's played 3 years as a center, and you're putting him on the left wing, obviously that says something about where he should be playing.
Yeah.
Or shouldn't be playing.
I'm also I'm kind of pumped of a potential second line of Hoffman, Dvorak, and Gallagher.
I think it's amazing. Literally, Gallagher, we saw Gallagher in the playoffs last year kind of turn into that defensive player because of obviously he was playing with Deneau. Now this gives the chance for Gallagher to still be that 25 goal scorer and Hoffman getting those 30 goals also, we're not sitting here with Jake Evans in between them being like, okay, they haven't scored in 25 games. What's going on?
What are we saying? Is Caulfield going to be on the first line?
Caulfield's not moving from Suzuki's wing. There's no chance.
Antipoli right there.
Well, apparently it's Drouin. I'm hearing a lot of things about Drouin actually being a part of that line.
I keep forgetting we have Drouin.
Fuck, I love Drouin.
Yeah.
So good.
But also it helps because Dvorak and Anderson played together in the OHL. So, you can move.
Fuck, we have Josh Anderson too.
Yeah. Anderson and Dvorak can play together if they need to. They have chemistry. So,
fuck, you might as well just put Carey Price at center at this point.
But even a third line of Palin, Anderson, and Toffoli, or Palin, Anderson, and Toffoli or Drouin, whoever's not on the first line. That's sick too.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Yep.
Damn. Quickly, before we jump to, I just want to give a little honorable mention, a little shout out. Ben St. Juste, Washington football teams, cornerback 3.
oh yeah.
He's
Yeah.
gonna play a fuck ton.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's balled out all camp though. He's always getting posted by Washington football team on Twitter with a crazy one-handed pick or whatever. He's played sick all camp. So shout out to the Canadian boy.
That's
Ben.
awesome.
And those fans are excited. You watch, just go under his tweets, and he people can't wait to see you play this year. You're the best slot corner we've had in years.
He has fan accounts.
Yeah.
Wild. But yeah. Shout out to him. Anyone else have anything for this week in sports? We'll have so much to talk about next week. It's fucking crazy.
Oh, yeah.
I'm fired up. But anyways, next week is not this week. And this week we're moving on to the question of the week. Hey, so week 1 happens. Pretty much the lead up to that week is a big fantasy football draft kind of week. I myself had 2. One league, all 5 of the Nothing But Controversy boys are in. We're in a 10-man league. So I guess our question of the week is going to be based around that. It's going to be, what is your plan going into fantasy drafts? And how did your team end up looking from the draft that we're all in?
Cam's upset.
Right. Okay. So for people who don't know, so everyone, we play in a keeper league. So how we did it was we just decided to make it a keeper league after the season ended. So we couldn't lock in keepers before the draft. So what we did is the player who won our league, i.e. Jack Zergiotis, ended up getting the first pick, and player who finished in the last place, i.e. Shaner, got the last pick. And basically from 1 to 10 in the first round, you have to pick your keeper. So Shane actually had basically the first round, the first overall pick.
Everyone who wasn't kept.
Right? So basically our first round was the second round with whoever was left that wasn't a keeper. So the way I go into fantasy drafts usually is if I have a top 4 pick, I'm taking one of the top 4 guys. So I feel like the consensus is CMC, Dalvin Cook, Alvin Kamara, Derrick Henry from 1 to 4. That's the consensus. That's the 80.
3 and 4 are interchangeable.
Fair enough.
On that list.
Okay. And anything after that, I'm taking the best receiver available, especially if we're playing in a PPR league, obviously. If I had 5 personally, I would take Kelsey because I think he's a guaranteed 15 points a week. There's not a lot of receivers that can do that. Maybe Devontae too. So I try to complete my starting lineup of 2 running backs, 2 receivers, and a tight end with a flex before taking a QB. So I take the best player available at every position until it's just the kicker and the defense and the QB left, and I'll take my QB. And then I try to get a good backup for every position with those positions not going according to the same bye week as the starters. So my quarterback, I'll draft with If my quarterback is a bye week on 9, I'll try to draft with a bye week that's not on 9. You know what I mean? So how my team ended up looking for us. So I got lucky and I finished 7th last year. So I had the 4th pick and I had Alvin Kamara already. So that gives me an advantage because I have a top 3 guy and I'm picking him at 7. So I ended up taking Kamara. Then I took Tyreek Hill at 14. And then I was able to get A.J. Brown. And then I got David Montgomery, Tyler Lockett, T.J. Hawkinson. And I ended up getting Tom Brady with my 7th pick, I guess that is, 7. So, like I said, with my strategy, like, you might not get the best quarterback available, but Tom Brady is a guy that can get you a crazy amount of fantasy points. Projections mean nothing. Projections have me doing well, but other than that, I have Joe Burrow on my bench. I have a sneaky Brandon Cooks on my bench as well. He might end up being a starter by the end of week 3. But yeah, I think my team ended up looking good. I think I've got a good shot. I think I have a better team than last year for sure. Barring injuries, I think I should be okay.
My strategy going into fantasy football has always been running back heavy because I think there's so many good receivers in the NFL that you can get in the later rounds that you got to go running back heavy, right? Because there's even RB1s that aren't worthy of a, you know what I mean? Like there's RB1s that split so many touches. So there's only a select few guys that are true RB1s. So that's always been my strategy, running back heavy. And then if someone falls to you, like I'll explain, someone fell to me, I think, in this draft. So you just had to scoop them up. But I got lucky. Last year, I had the number 1 overall pick. Okay. Took CMC. Obviously was unlucky last season.
That's a lie. You had number 2 last year.
Oh, I did have number 2. Shane took Saquon at 1.
Wow.
I would do it again.
That is true. Well, that didn't work for Shane or I last year. But yeah, so I had 2 last year. Grabbed CMC. He's obviously my keeper this year. And then I picked 8th, I believe. Yeah, I picked 8th. So I was able to scoop my boy, Jonathan Taylor, at 8. So right off the bat, I have Christian McCaffrey and Jonathan Taylor. I think that's up for debate for one of the best duos in our league.
It is.
And then after that, this is where I feel like someone fell into my lap. So I was able to scoop the, in my opinion, second best tight end in the NFL, Darren Waller. Okay, so I was super pumped with that. And
I say fantasy tight end. Actual tight end, I would take George Kittle over Darren Waller.
I just want to say that trade discussions are still ongoing.
So I was about to allude to that.
For the record.
I was about to allude to that. But then right after that, jumped in, grabbed another running back. So right now I have running back 1, running back 2, and my flex all taken care of in the first 4 rounds. I was able to scoop DeAndre Swift, who's someone I'm pretty high on this year considering the lack of receivers in Detroit. And, just having Jared Goff at Q. I'm pretty confident in DeAndre Swift, to be honest. And then filled out my receivers with Robert Woods and Adam Thielen. I think for round 5 and 6 guys, those are pretty big steals. So I was pumped about that. And then my bench is where I get excited because I think I was able to secure a running back 1 on my bench as my RB4 in Damian Harris. Obviously, that's going to be some split touches, but with Sonny Michel gone and whatnot, I'm pumped to have Damian Harris. My last pick of the draft was Chuba Hubbard, just strictly based on the fact that I have CMC, just as a security blanket. We'll call it a handcuff. And then I have 3 guys I'm super high on this year. First being Odell. Odell is Odell.
He's coming home.
Odell is Odell. Shane thinks he's getting them. We'll talk later. Second guy, a wide receiver 1 in New York, Corey Davis. Very excited with that as well. And then finally, my biggest sleeper of the draft, not to allude to our top 5 or anything, or one of them we'll call it, is Russell Gage in Atlanta. I mean, we saw what happened with Calvin Ridley last year. Matt Ryan attacking the second best corner on a team is a problem. I'm not saying Russell Gage is – what's that, Liam?
I think this is like a really like a lot of people think about this a lot, but I searched it up and stuff. Calvin Ridley was going up against the best corner every week almost. Julio Jones is getting covered by the second best guy. So I'm excited to see what he can do this year. Obviously, I drafted him, but sorry, I just wanted to say that because like a lot of people just think that he was playing the second best corner every week, and he put up a crazy year. Like that's why he had a crazy year. But I think he's, that good.
I think Calvin Ridley is an absolutely disgusting receiver.
Yeah,
and I'm not saying Russell Gage is going to put up Calvin Ridley numbers from last year, but even the addition of Kyle Pitts, who's going to take up, a guy, whether it's I don't know who the fuck you can put on Kyle Pitts. You can't put a linebacker on him. You can't put a DB on him. Fuck.
Can't put anybody on him.
Literally. But I'm excited for Russell Gage. And then finished off my bench with, again, a pretty good tight end in Noah Fant. I'm excited for him as well. And then at quarterback, this is where I'm a bit concerned, but the more I'm reading up on him, the more I'm looking at matchups, I'm excited to have Jalen Hurts as my QB, my fantasy QB. I don't know if I would want him leading my NFL team, but I'm excited to have him as my fantasy QB. And then just to quickly go off into one of my other leagues, I actually drafted. So I had Derrick Henry. I got him at 4. Okay. And then on the way back, I got Darren Waller. And then on the way back after that, I picked up George Kittle. So I just went tight end heavy. I got 2 of the top 3 tight ends, and now Kittle is bringing me in gold in terms of trade bait.
That's the thing is if you load up like tight ends, as much as there's good tight ends in the league at fantasy wise, there's not that many guys that like those 2 guys you could win weeks. Like you're automatic. You put them at the tight end position. Aside from Kelsey, you're winning your week with those guys at tight end.
Absolutely.
So now you put one at flex. Let's just say you kept them both.
Right.
Put one guy at tight end, one guy at flex. Odds are you're winning that flex matchup also. That's right. 2 of whatever, how many starting things you got is already a win.
And this is a 12-man league. And I'm going to read you my lineup, and I think it's pretty fucking solid. I have Matt Stafford at Q, Derrick Henry at RB1, DeAndre Swift at RB2, Robert Woods at wide receiver 1. And then I have my running backs or my receivers are up in the air. I have Corey Davis, Devontae Smith, Russell Gage, or Curtis Samuel. I'm high on Curtis Samuel this year too. And then tight end Darren Waller, flex George Kittle. Like that's for a 12-man league. I'm pretty pumped with that.
Good.
That's the only time I went away from my strategy of RB heavy. I just decided to load up on tight ends. Maybe use it as trade bait. Maybe just have Kittle as a flex. But it worked out pretty well.
Nice. Yeah, no. Similarly to Dawson, I like going RB heavy as well, especially guys who can, play 3 down, and don't split too much time. But I always have a plan, and it usually gets thrown out the window after fucking round 6 or 7. And now I'm just looking for guys that I think have like great upside. But I'm happy with how the draft went. Obviously, I kept Derrick Henry. Picked up Calvin Ridley with my first pick. You took JT. I was about to snag JT, and then I was like, never mind. I'm gonna go receiver here. Yeah, so I'm high on Antonio Gibson. I'm happy I was able to get him at 3. Then I was able to add guys like Amari Cooper and Cooper Kupp later on in the draft, which I think are top 20, both top 20 receivers in fantasy football. So I'm high on that. I was really trying to pick up a tight end, but things just didn't fall my way. But I did land Kyle Pitts. I don't know. The projections are so low, but
the projections are.
Yeah, I don't know. The only reason I didn't want to take him is because I already have Calvin Ridley, so I like taking touches away from each other, and then I was a little I didn't like having Stafford and Kupp, but I think Stafford's gonna put up numbers this year, and I'm not worried about that one. When it comes to the bench, obviously I picked up Chase Edmonds from Arizona, which I'm super high on as well. I know he's going to be splitting touches with Connor, obviously, but I don't know. I could see him taking over a little bit, and he's another pass catcher, so that goes a long way when it comes to fantasy, especially for the running back position. Picked up another running back, Trey Sermon. Obviously, he's splitting time with Raheem Mostert, but I think San Fran's high on him, and he'll get a fair share of touches.
Mostert was not Mostert. Sermon was someone I wanted in all my leagues.
Yeah.
I really liked him, and I didn't get him in any of my leagues.
So that's the thing with when we had that draft special, we talked about who we thought was one of the best picks in the draft, and Trey Sermon was the guy I said. But the thing with the fact that Mostert is still such a good fantasy running back, and I feel like that's why I kind of stayed away from Sermon. But like Dawson said, I want him, but like it was only like I was gonna take him with my last pick, and he was gone by the time I took him.
Yeah, that's kind of how it played out for me. Like I had a pick, I don't know, probably 9 or 10, where I was just like, I don't really like anyone here except for Trey Sermon, so I went and took him. But another guy got late who I think like could help me out and maybe be an X factor in this league is Antonio Brown. I saw a thing. He was top 20 in fantasy points per game last year. So I know he didn't go crazy. Like he didn't play a lot of games, right? He only had I think he only played like maybe 10. But yeah, exactly. So I don't know. And I think he's gonna be seeing the ball a lot, even though they have Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. Like we saw Mike Evans, obviously he's a touchdown machine, but he wasn't putting up 10, 12 catches a game. So they'll spread the ball out there, and I think he could be a little X factor. And then my last 3 receivers were all guys that I just love as football players. But one of them is a huge X factor. This player, he's a starting X receiver on the Las Vegas Raiders. His name is Bryan Edwards. He's starting now, so I'm expecting him to have a lot of targets, a lot of looks this year. And dude, any receiver who has 10 to 12 targets ends up with 8 and 9 catches are going to have a strong fantasy week. And, he's one of those guys who can do that this year, legitimately. So we'll see what's up with that. I think he can win some leagues this year, especially if he does put up those numbers, obviously. But and the last 2 guys picked up Darnell Mooney and Michael Pittman, just 2 receivers who I think are poised to have, good sophomore years. And I just took them out of respect. I just love those guys, But so obviously the strategy kind of flew out the window late in the draft. But I'm overall happy with my team. I think we'll be better than what the NFL fantasy projections told me. So yeah.
All right. Well, I'm not gonna lie. I don't really have a strategy ahead of fantasy draft. I kind of no, but like I feel like I know football pretty well, so I'm not too worried. I don't like to overanalyze it because that's what I did last year, and I had weeks where I put up 150, and I had weeks where I put up 70 points. So I just went in with like, there's a few guys that I want. Waller was one of them. So congrats, Dawson. I had him last year. He did win me a few weeks, so no complaints. But I feel like it went pretty well. I'm projected to finish tied for 5th and go 500. So even that's a big improvement on last year. We don't have to talk about my record. But not much to say here. I did get Kyler pretty early. I told myself I wanted to go quarterback pretty early, and I got Kyler, so I'm happy about that. I did keep D-Hop, though, so that scares me big time, having your number 1 receiver and your Q being on the same team. But nonetheless, we'll see what happens. At running back, since I kept D-Hop, I was picking at 3. Obviously without the guys that were kept. So there was a lot of running backs kept. So Zeke was, in my opinion, the best available. It was him or Eckler. We'll see what happens there. I'm a little bit scared, but I also got Josh Jacobs. So I have Jacobs, Zeke, D-Hop, and Justin Jefferson as my starting 4 guy. Those are my big 4. With Kyler, I'm pretty happy about that. I went tight end pretty early because I saw them flying off the board, and Mark Andrews ended up being my guy. Loved him at Oklahoma, not gonna lie. As a fantasy tight end, as high as I drafted him, scares the shit out of me. So I'm on the market. At flex right now, I have Curtis Samuel, who, like you said, Dawson, I'm excited. But not too sure what's gonna happen with my team this year. I'm a little nervous. I loaded up at receiver like crazy. My bench has Chase Claypool, Mecole Hardman, Jerry Jeudy, Courtland Sutton, and Jalen Waddle. So going to be a steady, healthy flow of receivers coming in this year.
So we've been doing this league for 3 years, and all 3 years I have had the first overall pick. So my strategy is basically to just draft the worst team ever and hope I get that number 1 overall pick, apparently at this rate. But actually, I'm in 2 leagues, and I've been playing fantasy football for like 7 to 8 years. And only last year did I develop a strategy. Like Cam said, he had no strategy. And for the first 7 years of playing fantasy football, I had none, and it got me nowhere. So last year in my second league, I played 2 leagues. I decided to go RB heavy for the first time, and I went to the championship game. So now my strategy is to go RB heavy. I wouldn't say my team's that great. I'm not going to lie to you. But I did go, like you guys said, I had Saquon as my keeper. And I did go, I think in the first 3 or 4 rounds, I went with 2 RBs right there. So that brought me to 3. I also snagged Russell Wilson. I wanted Kyler, and Cam took him right before me. So couldn't snag Kyler. So
I wasn't happy about that one either.
Yeah, I had to snag the second best option, in my opinion, at that point in the draft. So Russell Wilson's my quarterback. Running back wise, I got 3 running backs in my starting lineup. I went obviously Saquon. I went Chris Carson from Seattle. So I don't know, like Cam kind of said, I know RB and wide receiver is different, but if the offense isn't going, I'm kind of screwed there with Carson and Russ. But how often does the Seattle offense not really get going? So that was my mindset. And then I went Miles Sanders, Cam's boy. I don't know why, but every year Miles Sanders has been in the league. I've had him on my fantasy team. He's just one of those guys that I always take. Technically the second round. I went Stephon Diggs. He was the best receiver available in a PPR league. I think he led the league in receptions last year. So, that's what is it? Is it 1 point or 0.5 points in our league?
A point, yeah.
A point, so if he gets me 130 catches, let's say, throughout the year, that's 130 extra points for me. Also up for grabs as per Dawson, because me and Dawson are deep into trade talks. Terry McLaurin, my number 2 receiver. Him too. Always seem to have him. I think Cam had him last year, and I made a trade for him halfway through the year.
Yep.
Him and Miles Sanders, always 2 guys. My tight ends, I waited too long. I'm not going to lie. Darren Waller was my target. Dawson screwed me over. And then as soon as Darren Waller went off the board, everybody went tight end.
Yeah.
And by the time it got back to me, there was no point in taking a tight end at that point. So my starting tight end is Mike Gesicki. Listen, he had a good year last year. Will he finish in the top 10? Maybe. But that's why me and Dawson are talking about Darren Waller. I will not stop annoying him about Darren Waller until Darren Waller is on my team. I also took Dawson's boy as my second quarterback, Carson Wentz. I have faith. Like I've said, MVP Carson's back. He's going to put on a show. So if Russ ever gets hurt or Russ starts shitting the bed like he does normally in the second half of the year, I have my faith in Carson. And then I went a little bit wide receiver heavy for my bench. I went Brandon Ayuk, Robbie Anderson, who will probably be starting.
I wanted both of them.
About 95% of my season. And then I had to bring him home. Kenny Golladay. I took him because I knew someone was going to take him in the next round. He wasn't the best receiver available at that point, but I knew someone was going to take him the next round. He wasn't going to get to me. My tight ends, like I said, they're a weak spot. My number 2 is Cole Kmet from the Bears. I don't know about that one. I'm a little nervous about that one. I don't like that one too much, but hey, listen, you got to do what you got to do. You never know what tight ends could do. And my last pick in the draft, Dawson kind of talked about him before, Sony Michel. As much as Darrell Henderson's supposed to start, Sony Michel is a Georgia boy, and we've seen what Sean McVay could do with a Georgia running back. So I decided to take him. We also saw what Sony Michel did in his rookie year, so I'm hoping he pops back to that form. So Sony Michel with the last pick in the draft, actually, he was the pick.
I think, bias aside, I think the 5 of us might have the 5 best teams in that league.
Also, speaking of fantasy, if you auto draft, you're an absolute fucking loser.
Kind of upset that our winner from last year auto drafted.
I'm very upset.
I understand circumstances are different for everyone, but it was a little bit.
But he was there to pick his first player and then left. Like, why?
I might try that in a league. Just see where it gets me.
I hate auto draft.
Last time I auto drafted, my team went to the championship. I lost, but I went to the championship.
I hate auto drafters, man. Auto drafting pisses me off so much.
Too.
So next time we have this pisses me off, auto drafters.
Yeah, well, that's it. There's a guy who just needed a filler, and I was like, all right, I'll do it. Just let me know when the draft is. And of course, it was like one night I was going out, so I think I did make like two or three picks, and then I was just like, I can't do this anymore. auto
like-
drafted the rest of my squad, and then went to the championship. So
Yeah.
Like literally, like I can't deal with not being able to control my team. Like literally, if I for some reason could not do a fantasy draft, I would literally text one of you guys and say, "Can you do it for me?"
Yeah.
I trust you guys enough. I trust you guys more than fucking NFLFantasy.com. I can't do it.
One of us was one of the people was auto drafting, and I think they took Justin Tucker in like the 9th round.
That's the thing. They
Yeah.
fill out the rosters.
I know, bro. I can't do that. I can't deal with that shit.
Yeah.
Bro.
But like, no, they took like defense in like the 8th round. Like it was
That's the
flying off,
thing.
and then we all took defenses in like round 15. Like
Yeah.
My last 2 picks without fail are kicker and defense. I never go early. Never go early.
I didn't even draft a kicker.
neither did
Neither
I.
did
Still
Sam.
don't have a kicker on the squad. I'm waiting it out.
I made a mistake, huge mistake. Forgot that Will Lutz was out.
Lutz.
And I took him, but then I had to drop him. Obviously, I took I picked up Jason Sanders.
You just wanted Will Lutz because you know I would trade you fucking Alvin Kamara.
I always take. He's also a guy. I always take Will Lutz because I know he's almost automatic.
I don't even know who my kicker is. Oh, I got a good kicker. Harrison Butker. I'll take that. And then 49ers D.
I have the
Oh, it's
Giants defense. I had the Browns. Didn't realize they were playing the Chiefs. Had to drop them. Picked up the Giants because, not for nothing, the Giants kind of have a nasty defense.
I'm surprised no one took the Giants defense.
I kind of predicted the defense is starting to go. So I went ahead because I was right there and I didn't really have any needs. So I went Bucks D. I'm excited for that. They returned to all their starters, as we know. So I'm excited.
Yeah. So we finished our fantasy drafts, and now we're finished this segment. All right. So let's go into the next one. Our bold prediction of the week. Welcome back to episode 39. And now we're in our bold prediction of the week. And let me tell you, once football season was done, coming up with these bold predictions and lock of the weeks were tough. They got increasingly more tough.
Oh yeah.
So now that football is back, get ready for a whole new breed. I'm gonna be flooded with bold predictions. I'm gonna keep one nice and short this week. Might not be that bold, but it is somewhat bold, I'd say. In week 1, a quarterback will throw for over 400 yards.
It's not that bold.
It's bold enough, I'd say. Okay, let's make it bold and say 2 separate quarterbacks will throw for over 400 yards.
All right.
Bold.
Well, I know I just gave you shit, but I don't know how mine will be either. But this week, the unanimous, I would say, best team in the NFL, the Kansas City Chiefs, not your Super Bowl champions, will lose to the Cleveland Browns by 10 plus.
Wow.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I was just gonna say lose. I was just gonna say lose to the Browns, but then I added the 10 plus. Fuck it.
Austin's survivor pick this week.
Yeah, no. Talk about Survivor after, but no, I have the Browns going into Kansas City, or I don't know who's at home, but Browns by 10 plus.
Love it. I'm going to keep it bold as well. I'm going to take a step away from NFL real quick just because one of my bold predictions earlier was during the MLB All-Star break, I said the Blue Jays would come back and, make the playoffs. And that's going to begin here this week. The Blue Jays have some hot bats going right now, putting up 8 or more runs in the last 3 games. My bold prediction is that the Toronto Blue Jays will sweep the New York Yankees this week.
And really begin that push for the wildcard spot.
Oh, we're back to Cam's fucking Cam's mic here.
Yeah.
Pass it on.
All right, Cam.
All right. I'm going pretty bold this week, boys. But like I said before, I drafted Kyler. I kept D-Hop. The Cardinals are playing the Titans this week. They're going to win by 1 touchdown minimum. They're going to win by 7 plus.
I like it.
I think they're on the road too, so it's bold.
Fuck the Titans.
Honestly, the more I think about it, the more I don't know if mine is actually that bold. But the Urban Meyer, Trevor Lawrence era in Jacksonville is now underway. And they were playing the worst team in football. the Houston Texans. Houston's going to win. Houston's going to be 1-0. Houston will be above 500
Wow.
for maybe the only time in the next, 3 seasons.
Damn. That's pretty bold. I'll give it to you.
Mhm.
I'll give it to you. Just so you guys know, let me give you a little context here as to why we're having a few technical difficulties. And sound is coming out of Cam's microphone when Liam's talking. The boys ditched me. They left me back here in Montreal. They went back to school. They're all living together. Fuck. Cam and Liam live in a fucking mansion now.
Oh, yeah.
But a mansion without Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
So they're all crashing in Matt and Shane's pad. And it's close quarters there. It's tight. And I'm
It is
just here
tight.
by myself.
You want me to prove it to you?
Here comes Matt. Into everyone's screen. Into Liam's screen. Matt featuring Liam. Matt, go pay Cam a visit. Hey! I just want to see him barge through Shane's door.
No, he went back to his room.
Ah.
Oh, here he comes.
Oh, there he is.
Hey, there he is.
So yeah.
That is our clip of the week. All right. Come see me, Matt.
Imagine. That would be sick.
Oh, man. But yeah, that's our bold predictions of the week. Matt, what do we got next?
Oh, man. We have a segment we haven't done since Super Bowl week. That's our game of the week.
Woo!
All right, so we had a couple options here, but we decided that the game of the week would be the AFC Championship from last year.
Divisional round.
Was it divisional?
Yeah. Because the Bills played the Chiefs in championship, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, you might be right.
Pretty
Anyway.
sure. Bills beat the Ravens
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
go
you're
there. The Chiefs had beat the Chiefs beat the Browns.
Yeah, you're right.
And it was the AFC championship. I could be wrong, but I think so.
I think you're right.
Oh, yeah, because Patrick Mahomes got hurt.
Yeah.
And they didn't know if he was going to start.
All right.
So it's the Cleveland Browns at the Kansas City Chiefs. Excuse my not knowing this. I'm quite a few beers deep. So for game of the week this year, we're going to change it up, and we're going to make sure to throw in our prediction for the score. And I know Cam is usually the big X Factor guy, but we're all going to throw in an X Factor this year,
I love that.
along with our thoughts. All right? So for the score, I have the Kansas City Chiefs winning 31-21. Okay? With the X Factor being the Chiefs O-line. We saw on full display
Fine.
why O-line is such an important part of an offense last year in the Super Bowl when the Chiefs O-line just absolutely fell apart. And Patrick Mahomes scrambled for over 397 yards? He threw 398 yards, I believe. That's crazy. So another thing worth saying, obviously the Browns haven't been this good in a while, but they are 0-15-1 in their last 16 week ones. They have not won a week one game in 16 years. I believe that streak continues this week.
Look, let's cut the shit. My bold prediction was a load of horse shit. They're not actually – the Browns aren't winning this game, but it is going to be close. My score prediction, I think it's going to be not that high scoring, to be honest. I really like the Browns defense. So I have the final score being 24-21 Chiefs. Okay. The X factor in the game for me was also that Chiefs O-line, because not for nothing, it could potentially be a top 3 O-line right now, but it's just a bunch of pieces that have never played together. And it just, like Matt said, shows how important, based on last year's Super Bowl, how bad that O-line was and how much it affects Patrick Mahomes and that Chiefs offense. But I'll throw in another X factor here. If the Chiefs win this game, it's no secret they have a fantastic running game. But I want to see that passing game get going. I want to see DPJ get going. I want to see Odell. I don't know if it's been confirmed if Odell's playing or not, but I want to see Odell get going. So if Cleveland wants to win this game, they have to establish a great passing game. So, but I have Kansas City 24-21.
Love it. Similar to Dawson, I don't think it's going to be a shootout per se, but I'm still going to say that the score is going to end up being 28-21 for Kansas City. But I could really see this game going either way. My X factor is the Browns defense. I think the Browns offense can hang. They can hang. I think they have the weapons, the ground game. And if that passing game gets going, it's a scary offense. And if that Browns defense can step up and, hold the Chiefs to, a quiet day, I'm not going to say they're completely going to shut them down. It could be a very close game, and they could even maybe win that game. But yeah, I'm still going with the Chiefs. 28-21, being the X factor being the Browns defense.
Yeah, for me, the final score last year in the playoffs, 31-26 in favor of the Chiefs. This year, I'm going to go very similar score, 31-27 for Kansas City. Obviously, the Browns improved their defense, but I still think the Chiefs are going to put up points on anyone and everyone this year. That's not a secret for me at all. But if the Chiefs want to win this game, and it's going to be close, I think. It's going to be the Baker and OBJ connection. That's my X factor this week. Even with Stefanski last year, early in the season, they tried to force feed OBJ, and yeah, he's a guy that you can do that too, but it also handicaps your offense if you're doing it too much. And we saw that a lot with the Browns 2 years ago. But last year, without OBJ, we saw them lean on the run game big time. Obviously, Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb, the best running back tandem in the NFL right now, probably. So, yeah, I think they got to lean on the run. Kansas City's going to put up a lot of points, though. So, I think the only way for Cleveland to stay in this game is to also put up points.
Me and Cam have some very similar thoughts. I have the same score, 31-27, for the Browns.
Woo!
Wow.
Like it.
X factor being the Browns' run game. I think they have to kind of slow down the game. Obviously it doesn't seem that slow if they're putting up that many points, but slow down the game with Chubb and Kareem Hunt. Make sure Mahomes gets the ball as least amount of times possible. Because if you keep giving the ball right back to Mahomes, he's going to keep scoring. So, try and kind of kill the clock as much as you can on those long drives. Get 9, 10, 11 play drives going. Even if you don't score, you kick field goals, you end up kicking field goals. At least you took that time off the clock. Because if you give the ball back to Mahomes with, even a minute left in the second quarter, there's a chance he's driving down the field and he's putting the points up on you. So, kill the clock with the run game. Rely heavily on Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. There's a reason you built that backfield. There's a reason you built that O-line. That's my X factor. You got to lean on them.
I like
All right. Well, that was our predictions and our X factors for our game of the week, our first game of the week, our week 1 game of the week. So let us know maybe in the comments what your predictions are for this game. And if you're right, well, we'll give you a little shout out next time on the episode. So let's head into our next segment, a segment that everyone knows and loves, a segment we like to call Think Fast. Welcome back to episode 39 once again, and I am back to being the host of Think Fast. This or that host, Cam, last week, you did a fantastic job. I got to give it respect. But I am back, and I have 7 questions for you guys. Six sports questions.
Whoa. The Baltimore Ravens signed Le'Veon Bell.
Oh, man.
That's a fantasy pickup.
That changes my top 5, kind of, but whatever.
That also changes my top 5.
Whatever, I won't change it. I'll just pretend I didn't hear that. All right, so I have 6 serious questions and 1 kind of fun question. We love the fun questions.
We do love them.
Okay, my first question.
Where we go for the second week in a row? I don't have an eraser.
Oh, I just have my napkin.
Give me a second.
Okay.
Sorry, fans.
Well, this is what happens when we move or you guys leave me. You guys are unorganized.
Disorganized.
What? Unorganized is fully a word. I promise you unorganized is a word. Okay.
Someone crack the dictionary.
I'm back.
Okay. The question is, who will be the best fantasy quarterback of 2021? Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. I have Jameis crossed out with Mahomes. LBS has Mahomes. Cam and Shaner both have Kyler. And Dawson has Josh Allen. So very boring pick from my part, but I think it's pretty easy to say. Patrick Mahomes is the most electrifying player in the NFL. Guy could throw for 400 yards with a snap of his fingers. It's ridiculous. He could throw for 5 touchdowns a game. So I think if you have a guy like that, he's probably going to be the best fantasy quarterback.
Yeah, I rolled with Patty for the same reason as well. He just has that game breaker potential every week. He could throw for 400 on any week, throw multiple touchdowns any week. And I have a feeling it's going to happen often this year. So that's why I went with him.
I went with Josh Allen, but before I do that, unlike Matt, I don't cut people off. I wait my turn. So I actually just looked up the definition of organized versus unorganized versus disorganized. And the Oxford Dictionary states the Oxford Dictionary defines organize as give an orderly structure to systematize. Therefore, unorganized means the opposite, not organized or not orderly. So unorganized is fully a word. Oh. Now, I went with Josh Allen because Josh Allen was a fantastic fantasy quarterback last year with Stephon Diggs, had the best receiver in the NFL last year. Yes, Matthew.
He was number 1.
Yes, he was number 1.
Yep.
And people forget that Josh Allen is sneaky athletic. The guy's got wheels. I'm not saying he's
sneaky, bro. He's not even sneaky. He's disgusting.
I know.
Didn't he lead the Bills in rushing yards last year?
He very well could have.
Probably.
I'm not saying he's
He
athletic.
fully did. He fully
I'm not saying he's Kyler or Lamar, but no, Josh Allen's athletic. So I have him as my.
He's also a 6'5" monster that when he drops his shoulder, he's running over you.
Yeah, he's also a fullback. So.
Yeah, I went with Kyler just because I drafted him, and I do think he has a serious shot. So a little bit of bias and a little bit of thoughts, but yeah.
I went with Kyler just simply. I don't like the running back room. James Conner, Chase Edmonds, kind of 2 guys. To me, 2 RB2 guys in an offense. But that receiving core, D-Hop, AJ Green, as much as he's not the AJ Green of old, is still AJ Green. Rondell Moore, who they drafted in the 2nd round.
Don't forget Christian Kirk. He went crazy last year.
Yeah, Christian Kirk. I think is Andy Isabella still there? Yeah.
Yeah, he's still there.
As much as I hate him, as much he could get open on those like slants, those quick routes, catch the ball and turn off field. So I feel like they're going to be throwing a lot based on Connor and Edmonds not being able to carry the load for me. So we'll see.
Why do you hate Andy Isabella?
I think I had Kyler Murray last year in fantasy, and Andy Isabella dropped the ball like 4 times.
Noted.
Fair enough.
It's not an actual hate. It's just I was a little frustrated that game.
Okay, question 2. Who will be the best fantasy running back of 2021? Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. So we got CMC from Cam, LBS, and Dawson. We got Eckler and Henry from Shaner. And we got Dalvin Cook from myself. Listen, if I had the first overall pick, I'd probably take CMC. But I had the number 2 overall pick in my other league. And I got Dalvin Cook. So like Cam said, huge bias. But I think if there's anyone who's going to be closest to having a chance at beating CMC for that top spot, it's got to be him. He probably would have had it last year if he wasn't out for 2 games, and that's why Kamara won the Fantasy Player of the Year. But, yeah, Dalvin Cook, baby. Show me something, baby. Fuck.
CMC. It's the answer. He's the number 1 pick for a reason.
Fair enough.
Catch the ball out of the backfield. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, he's the number 1 pick for a reason in my eyes. If we're talking strictly running, then I'd give it to Derrick Henry because he's the best running back in the NFL. But we're talking what Christian McCaffrey can do out of the backfield in the passing game. I think he's got to be fantasy-wise the best running back available.
Yeah, I agree. Obviously, the pass catching for running backs is so valuable in fantasy, and I think he's going to get a lot of targets this year and a lot of opportunities to run the ball as well, especially with their new quarterback, Sam Darnold. We'll see what's good with that, but I expect him to carry the load this year.
I have nothing to add. It's going to be CMC. To me right now, it's going to be CMC.
All right, so as you saw, I had 2 running backs on my board. Derrick Henry was non-PPR. If you're in a non-PPR league, I think Derrick Henry is going to be the number 1 fantasy running back. And then for PPR, I went Eckler. Based on, you guys went Cook and CMC, which are, not to say the easy answer, but the answer that probably everybody would say. Just CMC injuries for me. Obviously, I know Eckler missed all of last year with injuries, but CMC, it seems to be, every year he misses for whatever reason 3 or 4 games. And Dalvin Cook too. Dalvin Cook too is kind of injury. Obviously, he tore his ACL one year. That I don't think he ever recovered from fully last year. Maybe I hope everybody stays healthy, but just to me, I feel like Justin Herbert, kind of young quarterback in a new system, is going to rely heavily on his running back. So I went off the board. I went with Eckler.
Okay. Well, I guess we're kind of seeing a theme here, but this is going to be my last of the best questions in fantasy.
You don't want to know who I think the best fantasy kicker will be?
I mean, I think you're going to say it's Youngway, but Rodrigo? Okay, whatever. Yeah, so last position-wise fantasy question. Who will be the best receiver in fantasy football in 2021? Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. I have Adams. Shaner and Dawson have Diggs. Cam has Adams as well, and LBS has Calvin Ridley. I have Devontae Adams because he single-handedly beat us in our own league last year. Jack Zergiotis, a fan of the show, a person who's been on the show, won our league. And he had Devontae Adams as his keeper. Basically went crazy, and I see a lot of the same this year. So, yeah, I mean, if I had any other answer, it'd probably be Tyreek because I have Tyreek in one of my leagues. And I'm fired up about that because I've never had Tyreek Hill on my team. And he always seems to kill me whenever I play him. So, yeah.
Cam, why do you have Mr. Devontae?
Nothing crazy. I just think it's all reliable. Him and Aaron Rodgers. Like, I love Josh Allen, and I do think he'll be a star quarterback for a long time. But he has one tremendous year under his belt. I don't know. Like, we don't know if there's going to be that exact same production next year. Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, that offense didn't really add much in terms of receivers. I don't think they added any receivers. So
Randall Cobb.
They also added the guy from Clemson.
Yeah, Amari Rodgers, but
Yeah.
but again, like
They didn't add any.
Devontae Adams has always had that kind of production behind him. He's still far and away the number 1 target on that team, and their division is pretty shit. So I think he's going up against a lot of subpar number 1 corners. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think you can say Diggs for the exact same reason, right? Not like far and away the number 1 receiver. Obviously, Gabe Davis is there too, Cole Beasley, but I wouldn't be surprised if Stephon Diggs caught fucking 300 balls this year. You know what I mean? Like he's just that guy. He's gonna get you your 100+ catches, and in a PPR league, that's everything. I'm not saying Devontae won't, but just based on what we saw last year, based on Josh Allen throwing in the ball, got to go Diggs.
Yeah, with that run game that they have on offense, basically like we said, going through Josh Allen, they're a pass heavy team, big time pass heavy team, and Diggs obviously being that number one receiver, Diggs might be the best route runner in the NFL, so he's gonna get open on the majority of his routes, and honestly, it was kind of between two players. It was between him and D Hop for me. And because I have Diggs, I went with Diggs. But D Hop very well could be it. Like I said, I feel like, you're still going to cover D Hop, but now you got all those receivers that you still have to watch out for. So it's a possibility that D Hop might run away with our wide receiver one, but I got to go with my guy.
Yeah, I rode with Calvin Ridley, obviously. A little bit of bias because I have him on my fantasy team. But I could see him getting a ridiculous amount of targets this year. Especially Matty Ice likes to stretch, push the ball downfield a lot. And, I think Ridley's going to have, 12 to 15 targets a game, even though Kyle Pitts is there. I still think, Julio Jones's departure just increases his target share even more. So he could have a crazy year and be fantasy wide receiver number one. My bad, boys. And yeah, so that's why I went with Calvin Ridley.
Before we move on, I'm going to say a name, and this is not for trade talks. This is not for anything to hype him up. But I'm going to say a sleeper guy is Terry McLaurin for me. Honestly, like I promised, just adding Curtis Samuel kind of adds something to.
All right, what do you want for him? Fuck. I'll give you my team.
Honestly, I'm kind of scared to trade him just for this reason. But yeah, Logan Thomas, the way he came on last year at the tight end position, and Curtis Samuel, that signing, I think it kind of opens up. And Antonio Gibson was amazing at the back half of that season. So I think it opens up for Terry McLaurin. So he's my sleeper. I'm going to give you a sleeper right there, and it's got to be Terry.
Scary Terry, baby.
All right. Let's go on to question 4. Dawson kind of alluded to it before. I didn't think it was unanimous. I thought I've seen like pretty much every power rankings I've seen has seen the Bucks on top. But my question is, who is the best team in the NFL entering week 1?
Haven't we done this question?
Think
No,
so.
we didn't. We did who's good best team to go like 17-0.
3, 2.
Whoa. Sorry, I was talking.
I have Kansas City, baby. Fuck. So does Dawson and Shaner, and then LBS and Cam have the Bucks. I'm just saying KC. It could be the Bucks, I guess. I kind of don't want to say the Bucks because the Saints are in that division. And fuck the Bucks and fuck Tom Brady. But like, Kansas City, man, I just wish they would have had a sick O-line. I wanted to see last year. The Super Bowl sucked. It was awful. It was the worst. But yeah, I still think that Kansas City is the best team, especially with a sick O-line now. I'm pumped up.
You say this every single year, and it's probably not going to be true. But I just think this is the year we see from Tom Brady, and it's probably not going to happen. But I'm just fucking.
For the record, I have Tom Brady on my fantasy team. I hate Tom Brady so much that if Dawson was right and I just lost fantasy because Tom Brady was so shit this year, I wouldn't even be that mad. Fuck Tom Brady. Fuck you.
Yeah, I'm just betting on the quarterbacks basically. Obviously, Tampa Bay has a better defense.
Kyle Trask, baby.
Yeah, fuck. But I don't know. I'm just betting on the quarterbacks on this. I think Mahomes is just such a good football player. Like I don't even know how else to say it without, sounding like a complete noob. But Patrick Mahomes is an incredible football player, and I think he single-handedly, obviously with Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill, and we'll throw Tyrann Mathieu in there, but I just think those three guys make that Kansas City Chiefs so fucking good.
Yeah, you touched on it before, Dawson. The O-line, the revamped O-line could very well be a top 5 O-line in the whole league. Also, people forget how good Clyde was before he got hurt. Yeah. Clyde Edwards-Helaire was top 5 in rushing yards when he got hurt last year. So that opens up the playbook for Andy Reid. if Clyde stays healthy, they can run the ball whenever they want, and they can also pass the ball whenever they want. You can literally know the Chiefs are passing the ball, and Mahomes will still dot you up.
Absolutely.
And now you add a run game to that, and I don't think their defense is that great. I'm not going to lie, but the fact that you could go into any game and score 50 points and outscore someone 50-48, not many teams can do that in this league.
I can't look past the fact that the reigning champions are returning every starter this year. With that being said,
And OJ Howard's back.
I still think they're the best team in the NFL. That's why I went with it. That's all I have to say about that.
Fuck.
Why does Matt look like a fucking locked video game character right now?
Seriously.
All right, Cam.
Yeah, I don't have much to say here. Like you said, LBS, the Bucks returned all 22 starters. That front seven gave every single team problems last year. They also added Joe Tryon from Washington, who's looked really good so far, really good. So you throw that guy into a mix of a front seven that's already terrifying. Listen, Tom Brady might decline, but everyone around him is not declining. So it makes his job very easy. I think they're gonna keep making it easier for him all as the season progresses. So
And
yeah, it is neck and neck though. But
something we didn't talk about for Tom Brady, and like you guys talked about his decline, is how often did Tom Brady rely on James White in his New England career? And now he's got Gio Bernard, who might be better than James White is.
I love Gio Bernard.
In that role. So, he's got the two guys in Rojo and Leonard Fournette, but now he's got his little check down RB in Gio.
I love Gio, man. Oh, man.
All right. Let's go on to the next question and think fast. And that question is, which division entering 2021 is the best? Most competitive? I don't know what you want me to say. You get the gist.
Hold up.
There's only one right
More
answer.
competitive here.
There's only one right answer, and it's the NFC East.
Well, yeah.
the NFC least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. All right. So I have the NFC West that consists of the Seahawks. Who else? The Cardinals, 49ers, and the Rams. Everyone else has the NFC West.
That's what I have. My board is fucked.
So,
I can't erase it.
Listen, it is close with the AFC North. The thing that sets it apart is I don't think there's many liabilities in the NFC West. There is a liability in the AFC North in the name of the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah.
So that's kind of simply the reason. I also think that the Rams literally, I know I said the Chiefs are the best team. Bucks are up there. The Rams have a very good chance at, shocking people and becoming the best roster in the NFL. One of their biggest problems is they're missing that guy to be quarterback because Jared Goff's a fucking bum. And Matt Stafford is my boy. So I can't wait to see what he does there. But, yeah, NFC West. Very good. Very good division.
Nothing to add from me. It's
all
it's
right.
Jared Goff is really not as bad as you say he is.
I think he's bad. We'll just move on from that, though. Next question. This is going to be the one that sets it apart here. Which player in the NFL are you most excited to watch in 2021?
That's a squeaky board.
I don't know.
Might be mine.
This one's
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Cameron, you
Hold on, I spelled his name
are going to
wrong.
like it. My answer, Devontae Smith. Shaner's answer, Saquon Barkley. Cam's answer, Hurts/Rieger. Dawson's answer, Kyle Pitts. And LBS's answer, Mac Jones.
Mac and cheese, baby.
Wow. It was no lie. The amount of fights that me and Shane had on this podcast last year about who deserves the Heisman, about who should be the Heisman between Kyle Trask and Devontae Smith. Of course I would want Devontae Smith, my boy from Alabama. Him getting drafted by the Eagles. It's like Mac Jones getting drafted to the Patriots. The only time you'll ever see me cheering for any of those teams is because my boys from Alabama got drafted there. And Devontae Smith, man, I can't wait to see if he can actually do it in the NFL because that was his biggest knock. Everyone was like, he's too skinny. He's not going to be big enough. So I'm pumped up to see what he can do.
He did have 3 drops in his first preseason game, so I'm a little bit skeptical. I'm not doubting his talent at all. There's a reason why the Eagles took him at 6, but he's got a little bit of work to do. I think he's coming in as like a 3, 4,
Didn't
maybe.
they take him at 10?
Yeah, that's true. They did take him at 10. They had the 6th pick, but anyways.
I feel like Devontae Smith's one of those receivers in his rookie year that like the first 8 games he's non-existent, and the back 8 that's when he comes on.
Yeah, he's gonna have to work his way into the offense. That's for sure. There's no doubt about that.
Yep.
I went with Shaner's boy, Kyle Pitts. Just
I
take
miss
this
him
in.
already.
Take this in. When was the last time someone got drafted and is instantly top 10 at their position? Instantly. And top 10 is very conservative, I think. Like, you can make a push that Kyle Pitts is going to be a top 5 tight end this year. He hasn't played a snap in an NFL regular season game. He is a problem. I spoke about it before. Shane, you watched him play more than anyone here. Can you put a linebacker on Kyle Pitts?
You can't put anybody on Kyle Pitts.
You can't put anyone on Kyle Pitts.
I don't care if the NFL is the best players in the world. There's not a single player that can cover him alone.
I don't get it. Like, it's going to be a problem, especially if you have Calvin Ridley taking up a number 1 corner. You can put the only type of person I could see guarding a Kyle Pitts is like a Jamal Adams type. But I don't think Jamal Adams is
horrible in coverage. It's not even funny.
I'm saying type, like
the best player I could think of off the top of my
Jalen
mind,
Ramsey.
when healthy, is Ramsey and Derwin James.
I was going to say
Derwin
Derwin James too. I was going to say
only 2 players I could see that can cover.
But there's no way they're taking Jalen Ramsey and putting him in the slot and leaving Calvin Ridley alone on the outside. There's no chance.
I understand if like maybe Atlanta flexes him out wide, then Jalen Ramsey goes over and you put whoever your number 2 is. But no way Jalen Ramsey's in the slot.
No. He's going to be a problem, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
Yeah, honestly, if the Pats didn't draft Mac Jones, I think Kyle Pitts would have been easily my answer here. But, you know, I mentioned before, wasn't a huge fan of the pick. Cam's gone now. It's Mac's team, whether I like it or not. And I'm excited. I'm truly excited to see what can happen this year. I think they're in a division where they could make a wild card push, you know, and if Mac Jones can do that, I'm ecstatic, you know. So I'm excited to see the boys perform this year. Mac Jones, hopefully you're the guy, brother.
Mac and cheese, brother.
Mac and cheese.
Yeah, I just went strictly bias here. Jalen Hurts didn't get in early enough last year, in my opinion. I love Carson Wentz, but it was time for him to sit on the bench way earlier than he ended up being on the bench. So that's that. And Jalen Reagor, really disappointing year. Everyone yelled at the Eagles for taking him earlier than Justin Jefferson, who very well would have won Offensive Rookie of the Year if it wasn't for Justin Herbert. So I'm excited. I'm very excited to see what these 2 can do. I didn't even want to pick one. I think it's on both of their shoulders to lead this offense. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Pitts also. Obviously, my boy. I already miss him at Florida. The offense is definitely not the same as it was last year. My real answer was Kyle Trask, but there's not a chance this guy ever starts a game until Brady's gone. So I have to go with Saquon. I touched on it before. Got hurt in week 2 last year, like first quarter. Matt was sitting next to me.
It was week 1, bro.
No, it was not.
Wasn't it? Because I thought we were watching it together because we were playing against each other in fantasy.
No, it was not. It was week 2 against the Bears. I remember. Trust me, I remember.
I've never seen someone so upset about a football injury in my life. Never in my life.
I was almost in tears when Saquon went down. Yeah, so I'm excited to see what he can do. I hope he has one of those Adrian Peterson torn ACL bounce back seasons, but obviously that's a hopeful wish. But
big ask.
Yeah, but Saquon's back. The Giants are back. I don't say that with much confidence. But I'm hopeful. It's something the offense didn't have last year with Saquon. Obviously, Wayne Gallman was a big drop-off from Saquon. So I'm excited to get that run game going.
All right. Listen, I've got one more question here. This is like the fun one. Okay? We're bringing it back to fantasy football, okay? If you had the number 1 overall pick in a fantasy draft, what superhero would you select with that pick?
And they're playing in the NFL, or like
Yes.
I get points for the amount of lives they save.
No, they play in the NFL.
Oh, man.
There's an obvious answer. Actually, no. There's a few.
5,
There's like 2 I'm debating, but I'm
Yeah, same.
2, 1. Okay. I have Spider-Man. Everyone else has Flash. Fair enough. I didn't really think about Flash. But hey, think about it. Spider-Man. He's got the nastiest hands ever in a PPR league. The guy's going to catch everything.
Okay, but you could just like throw it
You can have the flash and not
half
have
a yard
throw
to
it
Flash
ever.
every play, and he's scoring every play.
Think about it, though. Spider-Man, right? Just get him to run into the end zone and just overthrow it. And he'll
Matt,
just
let me-
spin a web at it, and it'll stick to the ball and come right back to his hands, and he'll catch a touchdown every time, too.
But like,
Let
then
me-
you have to rely on the O-line blocking for that long. When you have the Flash, you could just throw a
Okay,
screen
let
to
me
him.
break something down for you. Do you think Jalen Ramsey is letting Tom Holland past him? Are you fucking kidding me? Do you think Jalen Ramsey isn't putting Tom Holland in the fucking dirt?
No.
Oh my god. Anyone. I would
I
take
tend to agree
fucking
with Dawson here.
Forrest Buckner at corner, and he would clamp Tom Holland. I would take Vince
You guys
Wilfork.
do realize that these are superheroes, right? Like Spider-Man, like one of his powers is like super strength. You do know that,
He
right?
does not have super strength. He has little webs and shit.
Absolutely, he has super strength.
I would take Jalen Ramsey over fucking
I'm
Spider-Man.
just saying,
Spider-Man.
bro, you're scoring every
Crazy.
play with the Flash. Or fucking.
You're crazy.
Yeah, the Flash is the obvious choice here. I don't think there's much of a
I
debate.
also contemplated Superman.
What about the Hulk?
I would take the
Yeah,
Hulk.
I contemplated the Hulk. I contemplated the Hulk as well.
All right. Anyways, yeah. So that does it for this or that. And now we're gonna go into the most competitive segment of the episode, of course. NBC trivia hosted by Shaner.
All right. This week's hard, boys. This week is hard.
Good.
Like, I don't know if you guys will get like 4.
Did we come up with a consequence for who's gonna like who loses? No way.
No.
What? We have not covered a consequence. It's pretty
All right.
tough.
We'll figure it out.
All right. You boys ready?
Let's hear it.
All right. Question 1.
Wait, do we have? Is it like NHL, NBA, NFL?
No, it's NFL and NCAA. Not
Ooh.
like. I'm gonna start with NFL. I think it's 5-4. So NFL 5 questions, NCAA 4. So we're gonna start with the. Do you guys want to start with NCAA or NFL?
Double A.
NCAA.
Yeah.
All right. You guys are gonna notice a trend on these questions. So we're gonna kick it off here. NCAA. Now this is FBS. This is none of this FCS like Division
shit.
2. Okay.
I would
I'm
fucking-
saying NCAA. These are all records. So who has the NCAA rushing yard record in a single season? What
Oh.
player?
I was looking at all these last week.
What player?
in a single season or career?
Single season. I'll give you 10 seconds.
Fuck, I don't know.
No idea.
Shane, if it's a name you don't know, I'm gonna be pissed.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Raise them up. All right. Matt and Cam have Derrick Henry. LBS has LT. And Dawson has OJ. The correct answer is Barry Sanders.
Wow.
Ooh.
Oklahoma State.
Barry Sanders with 2,628 yards.
Holy fuck.
That is ridiculous.
That is absolutely insane.
I
Sorry.
feel like low-key, I feel like Chuba came close to that. He had a fuck ton of yards.
It was over 2K, but like there's been probably
Yeah.
close to 10, if not more, guys over
Yeah.
2,000 in college. So.
All right, now the next 3 questions for NCAA are numbers. So I'll give you a 2 like little buffer. So like 1 under, 1 over. That's your little buffer grace period. What is the record for sacks in a season? Single player sacks in one season.
For a team or for a play? Oh,
Player.
single player, you said.
Ten. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, Dawson has 25. LBS has 21 and a half. Cam has 21. Matt has 20. One of you are correct. Technically.
Awesome.
The answer
Yeah, it
is
has to be me.
24. The answer is 24. But Dawson had with 25, so Dawson's on the board. I completely forgot to score keep.
Who had it?
Terrell Suggs.
Ooh, where did he go to college?
That is a great Virginia Tech, maybe? I don't know.
Did he? No, let me check. Terrell Suggs went to college at Arizona State.
Oh, I was very wrong. Oh, that makes sense because when he went back to
Same
Arizona,
color.
he went back.
Ah,
All right, this one, I have no idea who has this record, so don't ask.
okay.
Who has the most interceptions? Like a defensive player, interceptions. What is the amount in one game? Most
One
interceptions in
game?
one game. One game.
Do we get this one? We can't have a buffer. It has to be perfect.
This one has to be perfect.
Okay. Three, 2.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Matt has 4 and the rest have 5.
Sick.
The correct answer is 5.
Oh, let's
So
go.
Liam, Cam, and Dawson
Imagine having 5 picks in a game.
have
That's
the
fine.
Didn't
correct
D'Angelo
answer.
Hall have 4 in an NFL game?
Did
Yeah.
So that's why I had to go higher than that.
most interceptions NCAA single game.
This one, I don't know if I should give. I'm going to ask the question. You guys decide if I'm going to give a buffer or not.
Okay.
How many FBS teams are there?
Oh, I know this. I think.
Are we giving a buffer or no?
I'm pretty sure I know this dead on, but I don't want to get too cocky. That's up to you guys.
I have no idea, so whatever.
I say no buffer.
Okay, no buffer. How many FBS teams? 10.
I'm like,
I have no idea. Fuck.
I think I know.
I don't know why I have this
Three.
number, but
2, 1, raise them.
ooh,
No.
Matt has 126. LBS and Cam have 128, and Dawson has 130. The correct answer, according to my research,
Yeah.
is 130.
Oh,
no way.
Dawson,
I thought it was.
I also thought it was 128 before I checked it. So maybe there's 2 new teams or something. I don't know, but
I was about to put that.
Do independents count as FBS teams?
Yeah.
Yeah.
so at the end of the NCAA round, Dawson is up 3-1
Went
on
off.
LBS and Cam, and Matt has 0. It's an
I
absolute.
went off. Holy shit.
All right, this is all NFL for the next 5 questions.
Let's get it.
And you guys see a theme now?
No.
Okay. This one doesn't have to do with the theme, I'm not going to lie.
I still don't see a theme.
Records?
Ah.
Oh, man, Dawson. Anyways, who is the youngest NFL franchise?
I feel like this is obvious.
10.
Well,
Wait, if they if they
Yeah,
change
wait.
names, like
No.
it's still the same franchise, right? I know.
That's
Yeah,
a good
like
question. That's a
Washington-
good question.
Like Washington football team isn't 1 year
Oh,
old.
no, not what? No.
What if they change like
that would be-
locations?
What?
What if they change locations?
Such
Yeah, I
as
think that's
Such as Las Vegas.
no.
No, it's newest like
Who is the newest franchise? Not someone who relocated. Who is
Like-
the
like
the
this-
32nd team?
yes. Okay.
10,
Like the
nine,
Seattle Kraken would be the answer for the NHL.
yes.
Okay.
5, 4,
I have it.
3, 2, 1. Raise them. Matt has Carolina, LBS, Jags. Cam and Dawson have the Texans. And the Texans is the right answer.
Yeah.
That one I knew. That one I knew.
So bad at this.
Yeah, I knew that one, but yeah.
Through 5
but, like,
questions, Matt is in the dumps.
even
Listen.
who was the Oilers? Was it still Houston or
It was
no?
Houston,
Yeah, but they turned into someone else.
The Tennessee Titans.
Oh,
No.
yeah.
Listen. To put things
Oh.
into perspective, I've had more drinks than there have been questions in this trivia. So maybe that's why I'm at 0.
This one you guys should all get. Every single one of you. What is the record for most passing touchdowns in a season? The number, the exact number. What is the number?
What do you mean everyone should get it? I don't know. Fuck.
Oh my god.
no idea.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Matt has 50, so does LBS. Cam has 43, and
That's a
Dawson
big
has
goal.
55. And I'm pretty sure Dawson just won already because the answer is 55.
Peyton.
It is Peyton Manning. It is Peyton Manning.
I had 50 written, but then I remembered that was the record before. I
Hey,
think
there's-
Brady had 50 in
Yes, and so
their
did
perfect
Mahomes.
season.
Congratulations, Dawson. You are the trivia
Oh, he
champion.
does not. There's 3 questions left, and Cam has 2. So if Dawson gets any other question right, he wins.
And if Cam gets any other question wrong, he loses.
What? Oh yeah, that too. What is the single season rushing touchdown record? How many touchdowns?
I have no idea. No idea.
I'm gonna go high.
Was I think I'm on fucking fire.
5, 4, 3,
Is it?
2, 1. Matt has 23, LBS 19. I thought you said you were going high, and you have the lowest answer.
I know. I don't know.
Austin has 21, and Cam has 20. None of you are right.
All right. So congratulations, Dawson.
The correct answer is 28.
Wow.
By LT, though. By
Okay.
LT.
Half
Holy
points.
fuck.
Do you want me to ask the next 2 questions? Or
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Michael Strahan has the record for most sacks in a season.
Alright.
What is that number?
No range here.
No range. What is that number?
I'm either this or one off.
Yeah, me too, I'm pretty sure.
4, 3, 2, 1.
I know
That's
it's a
23.
0.5. It's definitely a
Matt is
0.5. I think
21.
Matt's right.
Matt has 21.5. LBS has 23. Cam had 20.
22.
And Dawson had 22 and a half. And the correct answer is 22 and a half.
Fuck.
Oh my god.
Bro,
Just give him his crown already.
we are about to have the first naked mile in NBC history. And we will be filming it for the record. It will be on the story after this episode. Naked mile tomorrow, Wednesday, 5 p.m. If this happens. And it will happen because this one is hard.
Shane, are you impressed with my
I
performance?
can guarantee you that I will not be doing that.
You're doing it. You're doing it. That's your punishment. There you go. That's the punishment decided.
No way.
That's the punishment.
Done.
What is the record? This is Ray Lewis's record. What is the record? I'll give you like a little bit of a buffer. We'll figure it out after I ask. What's the record for most tackles in a season?
The worst. These are the worst questions. Worst.
That's because you suck. What?
Do we have a buffer?
I'll give you like 3,
Plus or minus 3.
just to benefit Matt.
Is this like?
Dude, I don't know how
Is this-
high this is.
Is this full tackles or?
These are tackles. I don't know if it's full or not. It's just tackles from what I've been informed of.
I literally do not know if I'm too high.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Matt has 100. Matt, that is the lowest answer ever.
I'm gonna say like, I don't even know what's a high answer.
LBS has 149. Dawson has 153, and Cam has 125. This is insane.
No way.
Like
We have our
180.
first naked mile. First
Oh fuck! I thought I got it right.
And second of all, with the buffer, Dawson got it right.
What's the answer?
156.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Dawson just put on a
seven right.
performance of the ages.
Dawson got
boys.
7 correct answers. Cam got 2. LBS got 1. And Matt is running a naked mile tomorrow at 5 p.m.
I'm just
That
happy
is
I'm not
punishment.
last.
It's not up for debate.
Holy fuck, I went off.
Yeah.
I really don't want to host trivia, though. All right.
Sucks to suck.
Top 5, Maddie.
Right now, go. All right, so we've been talking about fantasy draft sleepers a lot this episode. You know, like, oh, this guy's a sleeper, this guy's a sleeper. So our top 5 is fantasy draft sleepers. Okay? If you have like a big name in this, I kind of want to hear why. Because like you kind of gotta like explain why it's a sleeper. You can't just be like Alvin Kamara. Like that makes no sense, you know. Like, okay, so number 5, I have Joe Burrow. Okay, LSU guy. So I didn't really like him coming out of college. Fuck that guy. But I thought he showed promise last year in his first 4 games until he got his torn ACL. Like he seems to be that guy. He seems to be like the guy who could lead a team. So, number 4, James Robinson. People are sleeping on this guy. I would understand if you slept on him because they had Travis Etienne, but he's gone now. Like, Travis Etienne is hurt. James Robinson is going to become a huge fantasy back again.
Like we saw last year.
Like we saw last year. Number 3, hometown bias. Jerry Jeudy. The guy's phenomenal. He had a not so great year last year, but
Got him.
like he's good, man. He's good. We're going to keep him on that list. Number 2, Gus Edwards. We said it before. Le'Veon Bell's now, they signed him to the practice squad, I guess. That doesn't really do much yet. But Gus Edwards, man. Like, guys could be the number 1 guy in the former number 1 rushing offense of the league. That says something. And number 1, I have a guy who I've always liked, DJ Moore. Plays on a team that I hate. But DJ Moore, like, this guy flies under the radar for some reason and always ends up being like a top 10 fantasy receiver. It makes no sense. I think it's going to be the same thing this year.
I'm disgusted to say that I have 2 Patriots on this list. Disgusted. At 5, the first of the 2, Nelson Aguilar. We can meme him all we want, saying he's
Sleeping, keep sleeping.
brick hands, whatever. But Nelson Aguilar is a very talented receiver in a receiver room that doesn't have that many big names.
Yeah. Okay. Here's my thought here. That goes against him.
You think?
Yeah. Because Jacoby Myers might be WR1, but if he's not, and Nelson Aguilar goes into the 1 spot, he's gonna get shut down by some. Like, imagine him going up against Xavier Howard. He's not getting more than 5 catches, bro.
Right. I'm just talking. Yes, I understand.
But big play potential, absolutely. I love that guy.
Like big play potential, yes, and also being able to score a potential wide receiver 1 in round 10 plus, I think, is a sleeper in itself.
Yeah, you're right. And he went off last year.
Yeah. Number 4, one of my favorite young receivers and one of my favorite sleepers that I unfortunately did not get to pick in any of my drafts. Out of Chicago, Darnell Mooney. Very excited to see this kid ball. Very excited. Number 3, spoke about him before. Russell Gage in Atlanta. Very excited to see him play too. Have him in 3 out of 4 of my leagues. Pumped for that. Number 2, the second Patriot on the list, Damian Harris. A consensus RB1, I think, in New England. And he's a talented dude. I'm excited to see him play too. And then my number 1 sleeper, another wide receiver 1 that you can get in like round 8 or 9, Corey Davis in New York. I think Zach Wilson is going to rely on him heavy because he is the best receiver on that team. So I'm excited to see that. Corey Davis, my number 1 sleeper.
Yeah, I like that list a lot because you mentioned a lot of guys who you can get after you fill out your starting roster. You know, that's really where I went. Guys with just who I believe have insane upside. At number 5, I'm putting AB. we can't forget, he was the best receiver in the NFL at one point, I believe.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
He
Without
was
a doubt.
100%.
He was the fantasy lock for like 3 years.
Yeah, and there's even last year he ranked 23rd in fantasy points per game. I know I mentioned it before, and he's a guy you can get late in the draft. So I think I got him in round 8 or 9. So I like what he can do. Number 4, I'm going with Jacoby Myers. I don't love going with the Patriots receiver because, as we just spoke about, we don't know who really is going to be that guy. But I think he's going to be wide receiver 1. He's going to be on the field when there's only 2 receivers on the field. He's going to be that guy. I think he's going to see a lot more targets than he did last year. So I think he has great value late in the draft, especially if you don't know where you want to go. Number 3, I went Gus Edwards. Maybe not really a sleeper anymore because Justice Hill tore his Achilles and they just signed Le'Veon. But I really believe he can end the season anywhere between like RB 20 and 15, maybe even higher.
Oh, I think higher for sure.
Yeah, exactly. He's going to get a lot of touches, and he can catch the football out of the backfield, which is massive in fantasy football. Number 2, I went with a player I drafted. Well, actually, my last 2 guys are guys I drafted, but I'm going Chase Edmonds with the Cards here. I know he's going to be splitting snaps, but he's a solid runner, and he's the third down guy again. Solid value as he'll be getting a lot of touches and a big passing target. I like him a lot. I think he's going to put up some solid numbers this year. And my number 1, I know I brought this up before. I don't know why this name is like sticking with me, but Bryan Edwards for the Raiders, starting at the X position. If you're on the field if you're always on the field, you're bound to get targets. You're bound to put up numbers. And I think fantasy-wise, big sleeper, got him. I think he was my last pick of the draft. He could put up serious numbers, and he could maybe be that guy to win a league, So Bryan Edwards, number 1. There's my top 5 fantasy draft sleepers.
Yeah, I like how different all of our lists are.
Yeah, I love it.
I mean, there's like 2 or maybe more names that are the same, but nonetheless, at number 5, I have Damien Harris. Honestly, didn't really think of him too much as a sleeper, but he's running back 1. They lost Sonny Michel. He's really going to be that guy. Like, we haven't seen a running back in New England be like a serious, steady number 1. I think he'll be the first in a while, so I like him there.
Kind of solid O-line too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Something about Alabama running backs, man.
That's it. At 4, guy who I had last year, who I kind of wanted this year, T. Higgins. He's getting Burrow back. He put up some sneaky good numbers last year. Really, literally put up 25 plus a couple of weeks for me. So like that's huge. I think he can do it again. And he's coming in as 2 or 3 maybe. So
the only thing I hate in Cincinnati is I feel like Joe Burrow's going to want to feed Jamar Chase. He's going to want to feed Tyler Boyd. Like I feel like there's so many mouths to feed, like which is a problem fantasy wise, not a problem for the Bengals, but I'm struggling with Bengals receivers this year.
But Jamar Chase had a horrible preseason.
But it's still Joe Burrow's guy.
That's still his
guy.
guy.
Yeah. But so is T. Higgins. Like T. Higgins is his dude too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but there's a reason Jamar Chase went 5. Is like pretty much like.
No, I do like T. Higgins though. I do like him.
Trust me. Someone drafted him. So did Jamar Chase get drafted? I don't know. Did he? Did someone take it?
I don't
think so.
I don't think Jamar Chase is going to be on the field. There's 2 receivers on the field.
I think all 3 of them got taken.
It's going to be a sick offense regardless.
Oh, yeah.
I think T. Higgins is a sleeper. And a guy we've talked a lot about this episode, at number 3, Kyle Pitts. I'm really high on him. There's not a lot of good tight ends after the big 3. Once those guys are gone, everyone kind of backs off. But Kyle Pitts has serious potential. I think people are shying away because of his projections. But
like 4 points.
Yeah, it's stupid, but yeah, he's gonna go off, I think. And yeah, at number 1, I know he's not so much of a sleeper now. I think he got auto drafted in like the 2nd round in our league, but yeah, Gus Edwards, got to be that dude. He's one of only 3 backs to have over 700 yards the last 3 seasons, so that's sleep. Like no one knew that, almost no one knew that, and so that makes him a sleeper for me. Makes him the biggest sleeper, even though he might be going in the 2nd round now.
I put an honorable mention to Saquon and Eckler. Saquon, basically because of the injury, he's fallen to the 2nd round. It's still Saquon. I don't care, injury or not, it's Saquon. When Saquon's healthy, Saquon's a top 5 back in the NFL. To let him slide to the 2nd round to me is crazy. And Eckler, I had him like we did it before. I had him as my number one projected fantasy running back.
I was gonna have Eckler in here too, but I wanted to take a deeper dive into the sleepers. But Eckler could be a top 5 back easy, and he's getting drafted like RB8 or 9.
I also did let this Le'Veon Bell signing adjust my ranking here. I did have Gus at 5, but I had a guy kind of tied with him, so that's why I kicked Gus off. For me, 5, I talked about him before. He was my last pick, Sony Michel. If he could get back to what he was in New England his rookie year, and, like I said, Georgia running backs have a good history with Sean McVay. So for me, there's a chance that he could get back to that, even with Darrell Henderson probably starting the first couple weeks. Number 4, I'm kind of surprised none of you mentioned him. Myles Gaskin.
Yeah.
There's no other – listen, Miami didn't go out and sign a running back.
Malcolm Brown. He's a big sleeper. He's a name I've seen on a lot of sleeper lists too.
Yeah, but Myles Gaskin, last year when he was healthy, he was very good for me when I picked him up off waivers. He started every week that he could for me because he gave me that production. So I think it's only going to – he's going to be that guy. Malcolm Brown's kind of going to be that guy that comes in and gives him a break, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but in my eyes, that's how I see it happening. Number 3, Dawson's going to be happy about this one, Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is one of those guys that I could see it kind of being like, when none of us expected Lamar Jackson to put up the fantasy numbers he did.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that he's going to put up the same numbers, but it might be that shock that we had with Lamar Jackson in my mind. So that's why I got Jalen Hurts at 3. Number 2, a guy who's looked apparently very good in camp, Elijah Moore. Elijah Moore with 2 rookies coming in together, Elijah Moore and Zach Wilson. I think they'll feed off each other.
Yeah.
He's going to work in the slot. I know they got a lot of receivers kind of there now, but he's going to work in the slot, and I think he's a great route runner. He's going to get open. He's a little shifty. So number 1, a guy who you guys haven't said at all, and it might be because of the first half of the year he's not going to be a big contributor, but Javonte Williams in Denver. They traded up to get him in the second round. I know they have Melvin Gordon, but to me, I think Javonte Williams takes over that backfield within the first 6 weeks of that season. And he's going to be a guy that, he's a hot commodity on the waiver wire. I don't know if anybody took him in our league. I think he might have gotten taken.
Someone did.
He might have gotten taken because I know I wanted him, and obviously I didn't end up with him. So I think, Melvin Gordon has a history of fumbling a lot. Obviously, no OC enjoys that. So Javonte Williams, if he gets that ball, if he gets, one game as a starter, I think he's going to run with that.
Quick honorable mention, my boy Naheem Hines. He's listed as the RB2 right now behind Jonathan Taylor. Marlon Mack is RB3. Jordan Wilkins is RB4. But